It's great to be out of your own world, because then you can just start working and not have distractions, and it's kind of like you're here to work. And then the inspiration that comes from what is also this gorgeous environment means everything. I do commissions every so often. I've done a number of family portraits and portraits of friends. Portrait commissions get a little bit more complicated. I do a lot of detail, I take a lot of time in general, because you kind of have to piece it all together. I work from photographs that they've supplied or that I've taken, so you get a bunch of images that you then want to piece together. It's a crazy bit of a puzzle, because you're working from images and you're trying to tell a story and you're trying to keep the friend in mind who wants this portrait. In that way, it's also a little bit structured and you get to play with that. When it comes down to it, it's got to be your painting.
It's a bit of a balancing act then.
You got to remember that that's why they want you to paint a picture too, is that they like your work and they trust you. Have fun with it and make something gorgeous. There's just maybe less stipulations for yourself if you're making something for a show. And I guess that is just kind of knowing that you're in charge and that if you're enjoying it, they're gonna enjoy it.
The gallery showings might be more what's inspiring you at the moment, and that is an organic process.
Yeah, you start off somewhere and you give yourself all the space you want to like go any direction. That's the thing I figured out the most, I think, is like the story unfolds. You can have it all penciled in, the whole image sketched out, but if you don't leave yourself space to like say, what's this story? You know, it's just gonna change regardless, so you might as well just start somewhere, have a vague idea, and then let it get on the ride and just see.
But then it's the creative process that takes over.
You know, I kind of definitely feel a vibe of where I'm going, but I always constantly leave it open.
Some artists they're structured, very structured, and they're drawing out a piece and they know exactly. To me, the way you do it is more exciting. It's a mystery that you are unraveling right on the canvas.
I think you have to keep yourself open to that, because that's when the magic really happens.
Exactly. A lot of your paintings have a lot of mystery, and there's a lot of symbology. I was looking at a piece, it's the two twin sisters and they're crying and they have a noose in their hand.
It's like from 20 years ago. I mean, there were so many symbols and imagery and conflict that I was like going through at the time.
Figures are telling you where to go, in a sense.
They really do.
Something other than the conscious and the subconscious takes over, and something that might not have been in your consciousness all of a sudden appears.
I finish a painting and it could be like years later. A friend will be like, oh wow, that's you in your new tiny home and the cat, but you know, it's like, oh, like how I didn't see it, but it's, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that's me in the window of my new house. And people point it out to me all the time.
My feeling is that it reflects where you are at that time. And I love art that I can make up a story too. Your artwork is just filled with story. And I don't think you've defined a story. It's up to the viewer, and that's the magic of art to me.
Yeah, you're never gonna change that. You could think you're making a statement, some gay thematic, or what, it's just someone's always gonna see something else.
Your relationship with Catharine Clark Gallery, which was originally Morphos in Hayes Valley, goes back 25 years ago. That when you came to San Francisco, across the street from Morphos, you had your original show.
She'd seen the show next door, mostly sculptural dolls. And then she was gonna have a doll show. she had asked if I could put something in her doll show. Must have made 3 or 4 pieces. She loved it.
Catherine saw your work across the street, invited you in there, and the magic word is she sold a lot of your pieces.
It was, an amazing fit as far as I was concerned, because I was just kind of putting on shows for like friends and maybe like a queer community or a queer aesthetic. Katie was the first official gallery where he was like, oh yeah, like do what you want and let's see, so that's why she is amazing to me.
How did you cross paths with Nancy Hoffman?
Katie was doing art fairs and Nancy was doing art fairs. I think Nancy had seen my work at Katie's booth. And then I went to an art fair where I was showing work with Katie, and I went and saw Nancy's booth and sat down, talked to her, and immediately loved her vibe, and her energy is amazing.
You're so lucky to
Yeah.
have the 2 galleries that you have, because a lot of artists don't luck out like that. Your career to me has always been an organic progression. You have always fallen into the right space around the right people, and that is I think a lot of that for me comes, as I observe you, is from your energy. Were you always drawing?
Oh, yeah, always. Yeah. From day one, I really fell into it right away. Always drawing, painting, sculpting, whatever. Growing up different, gay or whatever, was something that separates you.
I will always remember the photograph of you in a girl's wig, and I'm thinking, oh, how wild at that period of time. Ruth recognized at an early age that she had a very special child here, and she actually encouraged you to be who you are.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm observing it, and I don't know if that's
amazing for that time too, that she could have saw that. That picture is my 3rd birthday.
it's so fabulous. I see that you see that
got
picture,
it.
and you
Pink,
do look.
yeah.
You are a beautiful little girl.
Yeah.
You are absolutely gorgeous. You're the cutest little girl.
I was feeling it. Yeah, the pose was there. I had a pink tutu that blew my mind, and it had to be like a blonde fall, little Jane Mansfield blonde fall. That's such a huge part of, I guess, who I am, is having that freedom, which I know most people don't get. In high school, I was doing this. So high school was the impetus to kind of sell work and see what it was like to become a working, living artist. And the only way I did get there was through doing your own shows. I was not going to make it any other area of my life. School was horrible. People are horrible. But a job where you don't have to deal with assholes was I kind of figured that out early on.
You suffered from severe dyslexia.
Yeah.
And I think that's, affected your artwork. It's that considered a disability is actually part of the magic of your vision.
Luckily there was Mom, and luckily there was Miss Jack, middle school teacher, who also just saw this creative side as a young person, and she just kind of stood back and she's like, oh, you're great. Let me supply you with whatever you need, and it's just the encouragement, and yeah.
That's so amazing, and
we're still friends. I still see her in Albuquerque, and it's amazing. A teacher that changed your life. I had dropped out of high school because it was done. I was already making art, doing my thing.
Good for you.
So self-taught, basically. There's other ways to go about it.
We need to get back on focus with our teachers and give them the room and the tools to teach children.
And the pay.
And the pay, and to keep art, because art is
art
is applicable to everything.
Oh, yeah.
They teach you to think in a creative way, and you can apply that creativity in any genre.
It is such a horrible thing when you don't fit in, especially to a school structure, and then you become a dumb person, which nobody wants to be. But then, everyone those dumb people also see things in a different way, and you have your own gifts, and your brain takes over in other areas.
Those people are often the people that turn out to be the geniuses of the world.
The focus is somewhere else.
Thank you.